Hello, everyone. I'm Eleanor Schrader. I'm an art and architectural historian, and I'm looking forward to seeing you for our class on architectural oddities, where we'll look at some very interesting and strange and quirky structures. We have 6 meetings, and let me share a few of our structures that we'll be looking at. And as we go through each one of our sessions, I will have a particular theme to it. And then also we'll look at the historical styles and why they existed in the socio-political backdrop of the era. So in our first meeting, our topic is sticks and stones and people in glass houses. So here is the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, which has lots of interesting stories about its construction. And then we'll look at this interesting rock house that's a little bit outside of Los Angeles. And it was built by a fellow who walked from the Midwest to Los Angeles in order to take a newspaper job. And then we'll see structures from all around the world, such as this interesting structure from China with all of its glass panels. Our second meeting is on curvaceous and colorful. So we'll look at the work of architects such as Antoni Gaudí and Hunter Wasser, with all of their beautiful curves and the stories behind how they were created. Zaha Hadid, who was called the Queen of the Curve. And then the colorful structures in Mexico City of Luis Barragan. And then our third meeting is Get Your Kicks on Route 66 with some roadside architecture, which of course would require some neon to call your attention and stop and have a bite to eat as you were traveling across Route 66. And then some structures that will rather surprise you. This was a way to get people to drop into a real estate office in New Jersey. And then we have structures that look like what was being sold by the company, such as this ice chest by Igloo. And then we move on to The Aliens Are Coming, futuristic and spaceship shaped architecture. And here we see a rather futuristic structure in the hills of Los Angeles that was actually the inspiration for the Jetsons home, if you remember that cartoon series. And here's a perfect example of some spaceship architecture. And of course, we'll also look at some geodesic domes as well. And then we go on to Home Sweet Home, which will look at structures from all over the world, such as this mud house in Africa and some Native American structures as well. One fun topic is spite houses, how people built something just to get back at a neighbor who had irritated them, for example. And then we'll also look at some faces. Part of that particular topic is the houses have eyes. And I'll take you around the world to see these quirky structures that perhaps not intentionally, but eventually did wind up with some faces to them. And then lastly, we'll go to crazy contemporary, and that will include postmodern architecture as well as some rather divergent styles, a little bit of eclecticism. And so we have many, many very interesting and wonderful things to see. So I look forward to seeing you, and we'll have some fun together.